Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about applications with ellipses. With each of the different conic sections we study, we'll have different types of application problems, but specific to the ellipse is typically when we talk about an archway over a road and determining if we can fit a truck under that archway. Those are the typical types of problems with ellipses. So we're going to go through a couple different examples of those types of problems today. So the first one on your sheet, this is your note sheet. So make sure you have that before you continue on with the video. It says that a semi-elliptical, a semi-elliptical archway over a one-way road has a height of 10 feet and a width of 40 feet. Your truck has a width of 10 and a height of 9. Will your truck clear the opening of the archway? Couple of key things in here. It's a one-way road. That's really important, because that means that your truck is going to travel down the middle of the road. And then the dimensions obviously are very important. So if you think of it kind of like this, if this is your y-axis, here's your x-axis, and your ellipse is like this. So your ellipse is centered at the origin. And I suppose you don't have to center it at the origin, but I think it does just make it easier if you do. Because my archway is 40 feet wide, then I know that this point right here is going to be 20, 0, and this point right here is negative 20, 0. Right, so from the center of the arch to the edge is 20 feet. I also know that the height of the arch, so right in the middle, this is going to be 0, 10. Okay, so if we center it at the origin, it just makes it easier with the points that we're labeling from the dimensions in the problem. Okay, the next part says that your truck has a width of 10 feet and a height of 9 feet. And I'm a terrible drawer, but if this is the back of your truck, right? If you're looking at the back of your truck, so here's your truck, right? It's a one-lane road, so the truck is traveling down the middle. So here's your truck. These are the tires on your truck. Just pretend that those are tires on there. Okay, so that's like looking at the back of your truck. So basically what I'm trying to figure out is, will my truck clear the archway? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because my truck is 10 feet wide, I know then from here to here, right, this distance right here is 5, right? From here out to here, that's a distance of 5 feet. So if I can actually figure out the coordinate of this point on my ellipse, I can figure out the height of the archway, 5 feet. Right, if I go 5 feet from the center on the major axis, I can actually figure out the height of the archway, and then I'll know if my truck will fit. Okay, so that's the strategy that we're going to use. So let's first go ahead and get the equation of our ellipse. We have an ellipse that is centered at the origin. It's horizontal. Its major axis is horizontal. So I know that the equation of my ellipse is going to be x squared over a squared, right, plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. Right, and so that would give me x squared over 400 plus y squared over 100 is equal to 1. So that gives me the equation of my ellipse. And so now, remember, I'm trying to find the coordinates of this point right here. Well, I know the x-coordinate of that point. I know it's 5, but I'm trying to figure out the y-coordinate of that point. And the reason it's 5 is because my truck is 10 feet wide. So if it's going down the center of the road, then half of it is on this side of the center line, half of it's on the other. Okay? So I have a value for x, and I can plug that in here, and then I'm going to solve this equation for y. So if I go ahead and plug x in here, I end up with 5 squared over 400 plus y squared over 100 is equal to 1. That gives me 25 over 400 plus y squared over 100 is equal to 1. And I'm just going to go up here then. Oops. Now, from here, it really just becomes a practice in algebra, right? If I go ahead and subtract 25 over 400 from both sides, right? 1 minus 25 over 400 would just be 375 over 400. If I multiply both sides of my equation by, let me just clean this up a little. If I multiply both sides of my equation by 100, right? So multiply this side by 100, multiply this side by 100. Here, those 100s are going to cancel. Here, my two zeros will cancel. And I end up with y squared is equal to 375 over 4. Take the square root of both sides and you get square root of 375 over 2. If you take the square root of the top and the bottom there. And that you can just put in your calculator. It comes out to be about 9.68 feet. Okay, so that tells me the height of the archway. The height of the archway, 5 feet from the center of the road, right, is 9.68 feet. Well, the height of my truck is only 9 feet. So since the height of my truck is less than the height of my archway, I can say yes, my truck will clear. Yes, because 9 is less than 9.68. Okay, so that's kind of the strategy that we want to apply when we're doing these types of problems. Let's go ahead and look at the second one. It says, about a mile down the road you come to another archway. Now this archway is 30 feet wide by 10 feet high. Will your truck clear the opening of this archway? Okay, if you want to try this one on your own, go ahead and pause the video, see if you can figure it out. And when you start up, we'll pick up where you left off here. Okay, so hopefully you were able to come up with an answer. Let's go ahead and do this. If we go ahead and draw our picture, right, we've got our archway here, and our archway is 30 feet wide, which means this point is 15, 0, but it's still 10 feet high, so this point is 10, 0. Remember that my truck was 10 feet wide by 9 feet tall. It's the same truck we had in the other problem. So I know then I'm trying to find the coordinates of this point right here. This is 5, comma, y, right? And I'm trying to find what that y value is. So let's go ahead and write out our equation. Our equation here is x squared over 15 squared plus y squared over 10 squared is equal to 1. I've got x squared over 225 plus y squared over 100 is equal to 1. If I go ahead and plug 5 in here, I end up with 25 over 225 plus y squared over 100 is equal to 1. I end up with y squared over 100 is equal to 200 over 225, right? That's another 2 there, 225. Right, so if I subtract 25 over 225, right, from 1, I end up with 200 over 225. And so if I go ahead and multiply both sides by 100, so let's see, we've got 200 and 25 goes into both of these, right? So 25 would go into this 9 times, 25 would go into this 4 times. So we end up with 800 800 over 9. So I end up with y is equal to the square root of 800 over 3. That you can do in your calculator. Let me do that real quick. 800 divided by 3. So it gives me 9.42. So y is equal to 9.42. So my truck actually will still clear the opening, right? Because my truck is only 9 feet high. And so 9 is less than 9.42 because remember this is the height of the archway. And so my answer here is also yes. Now, the way that I did this down here, you don't have to do it the exact same way. You don't have to reduce it. You could just multiply both sides by 100 and put the whole thing in your calculator. I think it's just force of habit for me to try and reduce if I can. But you don't have to. You could just multiply this by 100 and then just take the square root of it and do it all in your calculator. Okay, I'm going to actually pause the video right there and pick up the next 2 problems in the next video. I'm actually going to stop this video and pick up the next 2 problems in the next video. Okay, everybody, thanks.